Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my Buffalo Bills franchise mode series right here on Madden 19. In the last episode, we began our third season, going 3-2 to kick things off. And in this episode, we have a couple of matchups that could end up deciding whether or not we make the playoffs. Those two matchups, both against Miami, 7 and 10. Week 7 and 10, that could very well decide whether or not we are a playoff team. Hopefully this is the year. We will see. We have already seen some odd moments from the sim in this game, so I'm not sure what to expect, but we are going to be able to get down to business relatively quickly here. We have just a little bit of scouting to take care of. Didn't mean to waste an extra point there. You never really expect someone's first grade to be a C. At least I don't. So it's always nice to waste those extra points. But overall, it's not looking like the worst draft ever. Oscar Meyer at wide receiver would be great to get him. Overall, it's not looking like the worst draft for receivers. And that said, let's get right down to business. You know the team, you know the lineup. There was some concern, and is still concern, about Josh Allen not developing. And look, it does suck, but sometimes players just don't develop. I have had players go from, the 82 to the 92 range, mainly in the Detroit Lions run that we did on Twitch with Seth Schaefer. So I don't know what to say as far as upping the slider to try and get a little bit more XP development out of quarterbacks. They can develop. Josh Allen just simply hasn't, even with that quick development. Now, the reason for that, who's to say at this point? But it is looking like we're, of course, going to have to try and find that future quarterback here soon. It is definitely disappointing that he's not at least up to an 80 or something by now. I do agree with that. But that is just the way things go, every once in a while on Madden. Unfortunately, we ended up getting the worst of that. But for now, we will focus on this game against Denver. Josh Allen still our quarterback for the foreseeable future. Let's see what he can do today. Can we manage to get 2 games over 500? Let's find out. We do give up a touchdown. We end up with a safety and a touchdown to follow. So we gave up a touchdown on their opening drive. That ended up being, actually, in fairness, it was a 94-yard rushing touchdown for Morris Sims. Brutal. And we followed that up with a punt that somehow resulted in a safety. And we marched down the field for the touchdown. Ended up being a 3-yard rush for Bryce Love. So that is a bizarre way to start this game. But I do like that we have the lead at the moment. We couldn't extend it there. Denver gets it back 13-9. Make it 16-9 and then 23-9. A nightmare defensively in terms of how we ended that quarter. Absolutely brutal. Ended up getting a field goal and then a 45-yard touchdown pass. They've had 2 plays, 45 yards or more, that have resulted in touchdowns. We are not going to win this game if our secondary doesn't bother to show up. Now, we do bounce back with a touchdown to begin the third. They strike back with some points, 26-16. To begin the fourth quarter, as we do force a punt to begin things here. So points are a requirement, which we don't end up getting. All right, can our defense come up with another stop here? They can. This is the time right now for the offense to shine. We need something here, a field goal, something, anything. And it's just a defensive battle right now. Our offense cannot get it going. Denver forced to punt very quickly again. This is unbelievable. It's just what a defensive battle this fourth quarter has been. We finally get some offense going. We do get on the board. It's 26-19 with 5:02 remaining. We have a chance to pull this off if we can get another stop. And we did. Ended up being a punt return there. So 1:58 to go. 26-19. Can the offense get the job done? Starting on our own 25. Can Josh Allen lead the way? We have plenty of time on the clock, and we're already facing a 4th down situation. We do get a 15-yard reception to Bryce Love. Perfect. And I think I'm going to jump into slow because I at least have the timeouts to use if it jumps me into the hurry up. So we can manage to do this on this occasion, of course, with the team actually having timeouts. 46 seconds to go. Allen in trouble and down, and that's rough. 3rd and 15 coming up. 3rd and 15 coming up. 42 seconds to go in this game. Down by 7. Allen looking, has all the time in the world, or does he? He's going deep. Allen, touchdown! Was that Kelvin Benjamin? Who the hell saw that coming? Kelvin frickin' Benjamin. And with 34 seconds to go, we've gotten within striking distance. We're down by 1. What a throw by Allen. What terrible defense. And what a catch for Kelvin Benjamin. If we hit this, we'll tie this game up. I wanted to try and exit to watch that play back. Hopefully it gives me a replay option. The point after is good. We are tied at 26 apiece. It was looking so bleak. Allen just bombs it downfield to Kelvin Benjamin. Absolutely phenomenal. Can you please figure out what the hell you're doing here, EA? Please? Thank you. Shouldn't have taken an hour and a half to exit. Can I look at that highlight? I think, you know what, we might even end up losing this game, but can I get a look at that highlight, please? I can. Beautiful. Allen with a phenomenal throw here. I mean, one-on-one for Benjamin all the way. Throw goes up right as the pressure starts to get there. And, yeah, just not a great display from Harris Jr., and that was all it took. We'll see what happens here. We're back in the game. Let's see what happens here. We'll go change of possession. Are we going to overtime? The answer is more than likely yes, but they've had a couple of deep plays all game long. And we should be okay. We are indeed going to overtime. They have the ball first. Can our defense hold on? Let's find out. No, we have the ball first. Okay, well, Josh, what can you get going, if anything? So far, not so good. And we're going to be forced to punt. We are forced to punt after getting the opening possession. Can Denver capitalize to win this game? Will that comeback be all for naught? 12 yards to Demaryius Thomas to start this drive. 9 yards for Fumagalli, however the hell you want to say it. Sims ends up getting some yards and losing some yards. 2nd and 13. That is game right there. Field goal range. That will do it. Denver had the ability all game long to pull off the high yardage plays. They're not kicking the field goal. Can we please get a turnover here? Please, please, please. 3rd and 7. No turnover. That was our chance. Wait a minute. Did time expire or did they hit the field goal? Okay, their players are celebrating. They must have hit the field goal even though it didn't show me. Yes, they did. 29-26 is the final. Unfortunately, the heroics from Allen and Benjamin were all for naught. We end up losing the game in overtime after not being able to get anything going offensively. 20-39, or 20 of 39, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. It wasn't enough, though. I don't even want to look over the stats. That's just a depressing loss. That is a depressing loss. We were able to pull off the big play once in that game with that game-tying touchdown. But they were able to pull it off consistently throughout the game, including in overtime on that possession. It was like a 20-yard reception or so. And that ended up being the difference maker. We needed to try and pull off a turnover of some sort, force a turnover of some sort, and we just couldn't do it. So let's go ahead and, I mean, Zay Jones, you're not going to get that much better. What do you need more than anything? Just as a route runner, it's not looking that good. So let's go medium route running and short route running will make you better as a possession receiver. Hopefully you get those points, and he did. Medium route and +2 to short. So not bad. An exciting way, but also an extremely disappointing way to begin this episode, and that brings us to this Week 7 matchup against Miami. We had the bye week after that. Contract negotiations. Murphy wants a 2-year deal for a 29-year-old. That's not terrible. And in fairness, it's not that bad of a contract. We can bring him back if he wants to sign that deal. He does want more money. It should still be worth bringing him back. No guarantees that we're going to find anybody else. No guarantee that we're going to find an improvement at tackle along the way. Let's actually just hear. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Available. Thank you. Back to wideouts. Who do we have? Was it quicker to go this way? The answer is basically no. Let's see. Malik Hill, unfortunately, not going to work out. Henry, not really going to work out. And with that, wide receivers are good to go. Oscar Mayer might actually be worth taking. Let's go ahead and look. I mean, tight ends, we do have Ebron, so it's not exactly a necessity. But if there is a high-end tight end in this draft, we'll definitely take a look at him. So, Sadler, unfortunately, you are on your way out. Is there a tight end specific scout? Moose is back. The Moose is back. And we'll see if there is somehow, some way, another elite level tight end in this draft. And we could pair with Ebron for years to come. I'm going to guess no. And that appears to be the case. Unless Haynes Davey is half decent, which he's okay. So we won't waste any other points there. And we'll start to focus on the O-line. So, Moose, thank you for your, 2 days or 2 hours worth of work. In reality, it was less than 2 minutes of my time. You, sir, are out of here. And let's go ahead and bring in that O-line scout, Wes York. And in fairness, I'm going to go Bill Jacobs instead, because I'd rather sign Wes York at the end of the year and have him be our starting scout for how solid of an option he is. So back to the O-line, left tackle, Jocelyn Moss. Really? Jocelyn. Come on now. You wanted a girl named Jocelyn, and it ended up being Josh, and you were just like, oh, but I really like the name Jocelyn, but we were going to name you Josh if you were a boy. Jocelyn! You ruined that kid's life, with the exception of the fact that he's a good enough talent to make it to the NFL. So you got lucky. You got lucky, Mr. and Mrs. Moss. Anyway, that said, Miami. We're hosting Miami here in Week 7. Can we get the win? We have to hope so. We do have the 3 overall point advantage. An overtime loss to Denver didn't really help the cause. Back to 500 on the year. Desperately trying to stay ahead of that mark. Kelvin Benjamin, that was only his 2nd touchdown reception on the year. 38 receptions on the season, though. Bryce Love, 1 yard short of 500. 7 touchdowns for him. And Alex Collins, who we were actually considering signing, we didn't because we're like, oh, we got LaShawn McCoy. And then McCoy retired early. So it's always funny to look back at the players and just be like, oh, shit, what would have gone down if we tried to sign Alex Collins? Although, if I remember correctly, he ended up getting that, just the contract offer from Miami was just outrageous, so it wasn't going to happen anyway. But here we go. Week 7 against Miami. I'd like a less stressful game, please. That would be tremendous. To the end of the first quarter we go. Who will strike first is the question, and the answer is we do not know, although Miami starts the second quarter on our 13-yard line, so it's not looking too good. We hold them to a field goal, though. March back and get one of our own. It's 3-all, and that is how it will remain. I said I didn't really want an exciting game. Ask and I shall receive. 6 points combined in the first half. Miami takes the 6-3 lead. We're able to bounce back with the game's first touchdown. It's 10-6 as we head to the fourth quarter. Who ended up getting that touchdown, by the way? It was a 14-yard reception for Bryce Love. We'll go change of possession here, and it happened quickly. Blackburn forced to punt. What will Miami be able to do on this drive? They'll be able to march down the field and take a 13-10 lead. Let's see. Can our offense get anything going? Yes, they can. 17-13. The offense trading chances. It was a 6-yard rushing touchdown for Bryce Love. Miami is shut down on 4th down. We'll be taking over from good field position. Can we make anything out of it? Yes, we can. 24-13, and that should do it. The offense finally found their rhythm in the second half. From 3-all at halftime to a 24-13 final, No real controversial or dramatic moments. It was pretty straightforward, if I gotta be honest. As take the old swig of ginger ale as we get a look at the stats. As Josh Allen, 24 of 37, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, but he does walk away as a winner. Bryce Love, 57 yards on the ground with a touchdown, 2 touchdowns in total for him. Ebron with a receiving touchdown as well. Grant Stemke, not your best game. Gardner Johnson with 10 tackles was player of the game. I will take it. There we go. 4-3 on the year. We're still staying above 500, if not barely, as Julius Bradford ends up improving. That's what I like to see. He gets that skill point, and we will make him better at zone just to make him an outright zone safety, and hopefully he'll get more points as a scheme fit. Play recognition gets a pretty big boost. He's still a strong depth option. I like that we have him, as we did pick up an injury in that game. And it's a rough one. Shaq Lawson goes down for 6 weeks with a dislocated ankle. That is going to hurt the overall team depth. I'm not going to worry about the depth chart until our Week 9 matchup with Arizona. Let's go ahead and see what we can handle here as far as the Murphy negotiations are concerned. He wants a little bit of a raise. Let's go not that much higher. Still under 5.5 for a cap hit, and there we go. He is back. Might be a little bit more than what he's worth, but he's still our best option at tackle for the moment. And as far as scouting goes, of course, the focus is still the offensive line. So let's see here. Pretty much judging you all off of that starting grade. Malcolm Hunter, it drops off a bit. Let's see. Well, I was going to say it's not looking too bad, and then Bowman kind of ruined it for me. And as did Will Roth. So left tackle, it's hit or miss. Left guard, Dion Vanette. Strong option out of Wisconsin. DeMarcus Eckel, also looking okay. Shaden Rogers, we'd probably avoid. Walter Brockers is okay. Might not be the best draft for the O-line, though, now that we take a look at it. As we move on to Week 9, hopefully that defensive tackle is back, but we also have a contract negotiation to deal with Kayvon Webster, who, I mean, how much are you looking for? Yeah, no, you're gone. You're gone, because as it is, he's my third guy in the depth chart. We have Mike Hilton ahead of him, so yeah, I'm not willing to pay you that much. I mean, at best, I'd pay you to come back and be, a depth option and maybe flip you. That's just, no. We have the money to spend, but let's be honest, if I'm going to bring back anybody and, really spend the money on them, it's going to be somebody who's worth it, as opposed to somebody who's my third option at best. As the, Brody Kowalewski. Easy for me to say. Karsten McKee, we'll take a look here. I mean, to be honest, they were both looking okay. Maybe not so much in terms of the top 3 grades. Right guard, Phillip Orton. PKO out of nowhere. DJ Riddick, looking damn good out of Florida. 6'4". And Lefaged, depends on where you want to put the emphasis, is okay, but nothing special out of Nevada. So that leads us. Malik Collins is who I was thinking of earlier. Do we have any point improvements? We do not. It's worth taking a look. Of course, sometimes it just doesn't let you know. Let's take a look at the depth chart. I'll probably just have this auto reorder and then take a look to make sure that everything is as we want it to be. With Darius Fields there, Benjamin Cole, Nelson, Zay Jones, Von Key, and McDowell, tight end, Ebron, Hollier, and Peck. The O-line should be fine. To be honest, I'm probably just going to leave this as is. We have Jackson, Fowler Jr., of course, still there. Collins back in at defensive tackles, a major help. That's where Shaq Lawson had been playing a decent amount this season, or that's where he'd been playing from for a decent amount of the season. So at corner, Webster technically is above Hilton, but yeah, I'm not paying Webster for $4 million per. I could, we're going to probably keep Hilton. I could easily find somebody in the draft as well. To go alongside Tre'Davious White and Artie Burns. I still really like that Artie Burns signing, and I'm glad that we brought him in. Reynolds and Key set up there. I think we're good. Slot receivers, probably Zay Jones still. It's Nelson, which I'm okay with, although Cole would be the best option. Overall, I'm okay with how the roster is, and it's going to have to change anyway once Lawson's back, so I'm not going to put too much stock into it. What I am going to do is jump into this game. Can we finally hit the mythical, magical number of being 2 games over 500? It has eluded us all season long, and while we may be without Shaq Lawson, one of our most versatile players on defense, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, again, that Miami game, that struggle in the first half, but we really turned it on down the stretch. We've shown that we can get things going, and I think the main thing for us really has been the fact that Bryce Love is a little bit better of a receiving back than we would have thought. Of course, LaShawn McCoy is outright a receiving back, so we expected a little bit of a dip there. That was not quite the case. Chandler Jones, how I miss you as a Patriots fan. I really do. Let's do this. Let's jump into this. Week 9 against Arizona. Let's see how we do. Through the first quarter we go. Back-to-back home games, by the way. The opening 3 points, they're able to tie it. And that is how the first quarter will end. Didn't mean to go change of possession. It won't take that long anyway. Arizona with another field goal. 6-3. Let's sim to halftime as we normally do. We end up getting a touchdown. They bounce back 13-10 and then 20-10 at halftime. Not ideal. Hopefully we can get something going here early. We do get a field goal back, make it 20-all. So both teams out of nowhere, quick 1-2 punch to double up the score. It's 20-all as we approach the fourth quarter, as we begin the fourth quarter. Arizona does start it off, though, with a touchdown. Ended up being a 10-yard reception for Christian Kirk. Houston Holt is their quarterback as we are forced to punt. Not ideal. The defense needs to come up big here to keep them off the board, and they do. But can our offense get anything going here? They can, and we have ourselves a tie game. Beautifully done. Capped off with a 17-yard touchdown pass to J.J. Nelson. Can the defense show up one more time? We're going to overtime. All right, Arizona was marching downfield, but they were not able to get anything done. We're going to overtime for the second time in this episode, and we will see here. Arizona starts off with the ball. Can we shut them down? They're featuring our former running back, Mr. Darkwa, who so far is having himself a pretty strong game. Third down situation coming up here, and there we go. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That's what I like to see. A field goal can win it. Can the offense get something going here in overtime? Unlike that game back in Denver. A couple of solid runs here on the start of this drive. Bryce Love right now getting the job done. Allen throws it away on second down. Huge third down play here. Allen is sacked, and that's going to force the punt. So Bryce Love was marching downfield, and then we get stopped. Arizona will have a chance to win it. Can our defense hold on and give us one more chance? 10-yard reception for Corey Coleman. The Arizona Bills, apparently, 2nd and 2. 15 yards for Coleman. Oh boy, they are in field goal range. Yeah, I think we can see how this one ends. Orleans Darkwa, Corey Coleman, and the Arizona Cardinals will walk away with the victory here in Buffalo. That forces us back to 4-4 on the year. Damn it. We just can't get 2 games over 500. 18 of 32 for Allen, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Still not good enough. Love 64 yards on the ground receiving-wise. 2 guys over 60 yards, a touchdown for Cole, 2 touchdowns for J.J. Nelson. Scott Helfett was just ripped apart in this game, and defensively, 3 guys in double digits for tackles, not necessarily a good sign. Damn, 2. Make it 2 overtime losses for us in this episode. Fowler gets a skill point, which is always nice, but Frustrating how just time and time again we're getting that much closer. That much closer. It's like, okay, can we finally take that next step? Can we get over 500? Can we start to get a little bit of separation? And we just can't string these wins together. We have a matchup against Miami, matchup against New England coming up. These are games that we have to win, of course. We did just beat Miami relatively handedly, at least after the first half. We're going to need that again. Again, Kayvon Webster, I'm not even going to bother if I hit withdraw off or just, hey, I don't want to offer you anything. It'll end up crashing the mode. The Dolphins have 2 ties on the season, by the way. How unlikely is that? Center-wise, we're good, so over to the right guards. Let's see, you're both worth looking at from there on out. Jackson McAdam and Jack Vargas. The right guards, not terrible. And then right tackles, Elgin Hartman is a beast. Warren Leckie is okay. Shockley is solid. We actually have quite a few options here at right tackle, which concerns me, but it's worth wasting, so to speak, the points on those depth options just to see with how weak we were in some of the other spots on the O-line. The 4-4 Bills head down to Miami to play the 2-4-2 Dolphins. Again, we still have a 3-point advantage on them. Does that mean much? It didn't for the first half of the previous game. Second half, we were able to take control, but again, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. If we fall below 500 here, if we lose this game, that is going to be devastating for our chances to make it. This division, the last time we looked, it was looking a little bit weaker. It may just be that the only team out of the AFC East happens to be the team that wins the division. So we need these games to go our way. That is an understatement. Just whether or not that ends up happening, time will tell. Time will tell. It's all we can do at this point. The team's locked in. We just need to win. At the end of the day, just win, baby. That's all. That's all. So let's do this. Let's do this. First quarter. Can we get anything going? So far, that's not the case. 3-0 Miami at the end of the first. Let's go to halftime and see what we are dealing with. We get on the board. It's 3-all. And a late touchdown just before halftime gives us the 10-3 advantage. So the defense doing well. Ended up being a 13-yard touchdown reception for Ebron. That's what I like to see. Through the third quarter, can we hold them back? We end up letting up a field goal, and we end up trading points. 17-14 as we head into the fourth quarter is all you need to know. We do bounce back, though. 10-point lead, 24-14 in the early stages of the fourth quarter. Can our defense shut them down? At least hold them to a field goal. It's going to be a big possession here. Can we at least wind down a bit of the clock, maybe get something going? Yes, we can. A long drive concludes with a 2-yard touchdown for Jericho and Kang, 31-17, and that will do it. So again, it was close, but we win both games over Miami. They are struggling this year. They're must-win games in that regard, and we get the job done. Allen, 26 of 38, 365 yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Rushing-wise, Love, 84 yards on 28 carries with a touchdown. And Kang, only 2 carries, but 5 yards and a touchdown for the rookie out of Memphis. Receiving-wise, tremendous. 100 yards for Benjamin on 8 receptions. Ebron with 97 yards on 7 receptions and a touchdown. Nelson, 80 yards and a touchdown as well. Blocking-wise, Brenton Weeks gave up the only sack in that game. Tackling-wise, the 2 corners and Gardner-Johnson leading the way. Dante Fowler gets to the quarterback twice. No interceptions. And Jake Elliott hit the only field goal that we asked of him to complete. So we win both games against Miami. As we mentioned, things are looking that much better. As a result, Kelvin Benjamin improves, which is nice. We can make him better at whatever. We'll make you better as a deep threat. That's fine. You are our main go-to option, up to an 84 overall, +3 to the deep route, +1 to the medium, and +1 to catching. Not too bad for a 29-year-old to still get a skill point. Yet again, we are 1 game over, and this would mean the world. 6-3 against 5-4. We need this win. Like I said, we'll take a look at the standings here. Although Dion Dawkins. Oh, man. $4 million for a backup. Granted, he's actually a starter, but ideally he'd be a backup. For that reason, I have to bring him back. Is he willing to accept that? He is. Webster, I'm so tempted to bring back, but I know I'd just more than likely end up trading him. It's an overpayment, too. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. Do I bring back Webster knowing that we'd pretty much end up trading him? I think one way or another, we would probably end up just trading him at some point. Are we good with that? Or with that knowledge, is it just better to let him go? What do we find to be cheap? Where do we want to draw the line on moves like that? I will leave it up to you. As right tackle, it's not looking all that good. Hankton's solid. And Lazar was looking okay, but not phenomenal. So there we go. The offensive line completely scouted out. I think what I'm going to do next, at least defensively, is look to target the secondary. Of course, with our aging safeties, that's going to be of importance sometime in the near future, although you can still say we need help pretty much everywhere, which is true. So do we have anybody in the secondary? We do. Christian Garrett, welcome aboard. Hopefully you can find our replacements for the likes of Jordan Poyer. We'll see who we have here. I also want to double check. We're not going to need a kicker. Yeah, Malcolm Kuhnelick and no punters. All right, cool. So at safety, Anthony Dean, looking pretty good. Marcus Gibson, not so much. Jeez, a second round projected is a sixth round talent. I feel bad for the team that ends up falling for that. Let's take a look at the standings here before we jump into this. As the Falcons are a perfect at 9-0. In the AFC, we have a half-decent record. Right now, we're not off the pace, right? We're not off the pace. We're not the Ravens. We're not the Jets. We have a chance here, but we need to keep winning games, and we need to try and get as much separation over that 500 record as possible. And it could start here. This is, we have a matchup against New England in Week 11 and Week 15. These games are going to go a long way in deciding not only the division, as we have an overall point advantage, not only the division, but, just the playoff spots in general, of course, as far as whether or not we make it. Think here, if we lose both these games, we win both games against Miami, if we lose both games against the Patriots, it really balances out, doesn't help us out all that much. It's not that difficult to figure out. We need to win football games. Can we do so is the question. Are we good enough to do so? Well, with a decent amount of the teams that we've played, we've actually done fairly well. And on paper, are the better team. Now, whether or not we are able to translate that into success on the given day, that is the question. Oh boy, we are in New England. Perhaps the biggest game of the season by the time it's all said and done. Let's see what we can do as the Patriots strike first. We match that and strike again quickly. So 10 unanswered points, and we have the lead. It was a 13-yard touchdown reception for Keelan Cole. Good stuff. Second quarter, the Patriots tie it nearly immediately. Yes, Phillip Rivers is their quarterback, as it is 23-13 at halftime. That obviously got to be a little bit out of control. It was a 42-yard reception from Max Sutherland. We follow that up with a 50-yard field goal for Allen. They hit a 51-yarder, and it ended up being ridiculous, frankly. 47-yard field goal there, 70-yard touchdown pass for Cole. It's just too crazy to keep up with, but we do have a 10-point lead as we begin the second half. The Patriots get a field goal on the opening drive. We make it 30-16, though. Not too shabby. Make it 37. 37-22. We'll slow this down here because if the Patriots score on this drive, we could be in a little bit of trouble. Let's actually bring that up to fast, and we should be fine with 3 seconds left. We recover the onside kick, and don't look now, but for the first time this season, the Buffalo Bills are 2 games over 500. We go to New England, and we walk away with the W. Crazy game in terms of offense, in terms of, quick possessions. 37-29 is the final. Allen, 24 of 35, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, but a great game for him. Love, 80 yards on the ground on 24 carries. Receiving-wise, 124 yards for Keelan Cole. He's gone off lately. 2 touchdowns, 96 yards for Nelson, 73 for Benjamin, and a touchdown. And Quadarius Fields, the fullback, also had a receiving touchdown, a 1-yard receiving touchdown. As far as the blocking goes, let's take a look. Not a great game for old Trent Brown, but I don't really care about you at the moment. Helfett allowed the only sack of the game. Shazier and Gardner-Johnson leading the way there. Dante Fowler had himself a game. Micah Hyde with the only interception. And Jake Elliott, 3 of 4. And that was good enough to help us get the victory, as they outscored us 13-7 in the fourth quarter. But it was too little, too late. The Buffalo Bills have a little bit of breathing room. That was a massive game, and I said that had the chance to be the most important. The rematch coming up against New England, that is going to be the biggest game of the season, as Artie Burns gets an improvement. Not too shabby, up to an 85. And Tremaine Edmonds as well. Long overdue, buddy, but nice to see you get this point. Will make you better as a run stopper, with it being the scheme fit at the moment. Damn. What a victory. And we have a chance here now to potentially pull this off. Let's go ahead and handle the scouting for this week. Again, we'll continue to focus on the secondary. In the meantime, you need at least a B grade before I even bother. Yeah, see, I was hoping he'd have like a C+ in zone coverage too. No, so if you don't start off with a B grade, don't even talk to me. And unfortunately, Brian Pile's okay. Henry Dyson was a little bit of disappointments. Anton Bowers looking great. Cedric Waters. Furio is also mad. Roman Dixon. Wow, unfortunately, not looking like the best draft in terms of safeties either. Not looking like the best draft in general. I have a feeling it's going to fall off pretty hard. We're 6-4. We are taking on the Niners, who are at 5-5. This is a massive game for us. Can we keep up this momentum? No reason to make any other changes. 81 overall against an 81 overall. Sunday Night Football. Let's do this. A win here would be massive. We got both wins over the Dolphins. We beat New England in our first matchup there. Can we continue this momentum? Can we get this win against the Niners and really put ourselves into a solid position for the down-the-stretch run of the regular season to hopefully make the playoffs? And how weird is it to see Richard Sherman there? That's a weird one. That's a weird one. Hopefully, though, we can pull this off. We need this win so badly. I don't want that nail-biting down the stretch, oh my God, we got to win our last game of the season kind of deal. Let's improve this record. Let's put ourselves into that much better of a position. But we need to beat San Francisco to do it. Let's see how this goes. Through the first quarter, who will strike first? The answer, San Francisco, 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Second, what will happen here? Our offense is struggling, and somehow the Niners didn't score. It looked like they were right on the goal line. There might have been a missed field goal there at the end. That was ridiculous, frankly. A 21-yard field goal missed by Robbie Gould, and that gives us a major opportunity here heading into the second half. Although San Francisco strikes first, they strike again, 17-0 at halftime. I wish we're running out of time. Fourth quarter, we do get a field goal. The defense really needs to get the job done here, and they do. Time for the offense to show up. Let's do this. We're not out of this game. Can we march downfield? We cannot. Solomon Thomas knocks it down on fourth down, and I think that's going to put us into a pretty rough situation. 20-7 or 20-3. I wish. We're down by 17. I keep getting ahead of myself, and we're pretty much screwed. Yeah, we're screwed. We are screwed. 2 games over. We go to San Francisco, and we struggle in all aspects. 23-10 is the final. Absolutely brutal. Allen, 22 of 43, 269 yards with a touchdown. Rushing-wise, only 46 yards for Love. Receiving-wise, Benjamin had a great game. Touchdown for Keelan Cole. We allowed 4 sacks that game. Defensively, it just didn't happen for us. Buckley was the only guy to get to the quarterback. And Elliott, 1 of 1. Unfortunately, it's just not what we needed. As we were outscored 7-0 in the first half, 16-10 in the second. And that Robbie Gould missed field goal, we didn't exactly make them pay for that mistake. There's an opportunity slips away from us. A good amount of player upgrades, though, for this week. I guess if we needed to look towards the bright side, that would be the way to do it. Tre'Davious White up to a 94, currently playing like a 95 due to confidence. Gardner Johnson continuing to improve as well. We'll make him better as a run stopper. He's up to an 83, which is pretty nice. Bryce Love also improving, and Joe Jackson, the core of the team, improving, which is really what we needed, as Love gets some decent upgrades there. And then Joe Jackson, actually going to make you better as a run stopper, just to make you a little bit more versatile. It's 79 overall at this point. So, an unfortunate loss, but we can look on the bright side, unless these injuries end up being extremely detrimental, which they are. We lose Jordan Poyer for 7 weeks. And Ellis Hollier, our backup tight end, for 7 weeks. Oh boy. Well, that creates a little bit of an issue here now, doesn't it? That creates a situation that we're somewhat prepared for, but not entirely. Is it worth? Actually, are they going to be listed at? Are they going to be listed at 6 weeks now, or is it still 7? 6 weeks. Okay, at the very least, Shaq Lawson's back. I mean, is it worth keeping them active? Is the question. If we look at the league schedule here, so we have 1. So let's see, that'd be 5, 4, 3, 2. It's worth keeping them active, but it's really going to hurt our chances down the stretch having to deal with those injuries. And if we take a look here at what the team's going to be shaping up to be, it's going to cause some complications. So if we reorder the depth chart here, we still have Bryce Love. Tight end wise, that's certainly going to cause some complications. We do have Jason Peck though, who actually did pretty well for us last year. So I'm not overly upset about that, having him be a little bit more involved in the offense. It's not the worst thing in the world. Left end, I do want Jackson there as the starter, not as the backup. We don't have another left end, so it would have been Buckley there. At right end, we are going to go with Fowler. I know, Shaq Lawson and everything, I know. Actually, in fairness, that's how we're going to do it. We're going to have Shaq Lawson be the 2-man on both sides of the ball. So Buckley and Knott won't get to play as much. Unless Lawson ends up getting a little bit more playing time than expected, which is likely to be the case because I think I'm going to make him the full-time second option at defensive tackle. So we're going to try to use Shaq Lawson as much as we possibly can. The big question is here, though, who the hell fills in at safety? And right now it's looking like Bradford. It's going to be Bradford and Hyde, which isn't the worst case scenario. I think overall that's a pretty strong setup. Slot receiver still Nelson. I'm good with all this. The rushing, still Lawson there on the left end. Right end is Fowler. I think we're okay. I might rework the depth chart a little bit in some aspects, but I think for now we're okay. The big thing, of course, though, we are dealing with some injuries that could really hinder our chance to find success down the stretch here, which is... It's never a good time for an injury like that, but this was certainly not the time and not what we were hoping for. Dante Justice, wow, this is not a great draft for corners now, is it? DJ Price is looking pretty good. But overall, not a great draft for corners. Yikes. So what do I think we're going to do? We're going to call it for now. We are at 6-5 on the season. The big question here, what do we do with Kayvon Webster? As far as the negotiations there, in the next episode, we will sim through these next 5 games. Will we be a playoff team in Season 3? That is the question. Right now, we are still there, battling with the Patriots. There is an outside chance, a decent chance, maybe even perhaps, that only one of us will end up making it. Although right now, it's looking like 2 teams from the AFC East could make it. But we need to continue to win games, especially to that Week 15 matchup, and we have our 2 matchups against the Jets as well. Some big-time games coming up that we need to win. What do you guys think? Not only about the Webster situation, maybe something about the depth chart, but what do you think? Are we going to make the playoffs in Season 3? And let me know down in the comments below whether or not you think that is the case. And for now, we'll call it a day. So thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate the support. You know the deal. Support the video. Support the channel. I love you for it. I'll see you in the next one where either we'll make the playoffs or the Bills will crush my hopes and dreams again.